According to chronicles, Almoš was the perfect medieval knight, who was deposed by his evil, scheming, half-blind, lame, stammering, hunchback brother, Coloman. Considering Coloman was succeeded by Almoš's descendants, it is little wonder that a lot of the chronicles write that way. But I'm getting ahead of myself. When Ladislav died in 1095, Coloman immediately handed in his resignation as bishop and seized power in the realm. But almost immediately he had to deal with his first crisis. A whole bunch of people appeared at his doorstep saying that the Pope had ordered them to liberate the Holy Land, and Coloman spent the start of his reign playing doorman for the Crusaders. His first big move was finishing the Croatian acquisition. After defeating King Peter, he achieved an agreement with the Croatian nobility, allowing them to keep their lands, rights and privileges in return for recognizing his rule. The king agreed to also appoint a Ban to rule Croatia and Dalmatia as viceroy in his absence. In 1103 he prepared the groundwork for his takeover of the Dalmatian coastal cities by attempting to smooth over relations with Byzantium, marrying off his sister Piroshka to the son of the Byzantine Emperor Alexios Komnenos. Then in 1105 he entered Zadar, formalizing his takeover of the coastal cities, and as with the nobility, Coloman had to guarantee the cities all their previous rights and privileges. In return he would protect them, and they would give him tribute and customs revenue. And that was supposed to be that. If only it was that easy. We'll be back to the coast very, very soon. Throughout Coloman's reign, Almoš was being a constant menace, rebelling and conspiring with the Kievan Rus, with Poland, with the Holy Roman Emperor, and after the th time, in 1113, Coloman had Almoš and his very young son Bela blinded. Although at the same time Coloman followed in Ladislav's footsteps, writing new laws, ironically he also rescinded some of Ladislav's harsher ones. During his reign he also continued to allow various peoples to settle the sparsely populated realm, and the court was also filling up with foreigners, each royal marriage bringing in a host of nobility that accompanied the brides, this nobility bringing various strands of medieval noble culture, manners, and practices to the court. Under Coloman and his predecessors, society had been transforming for the past century, but a strong landed nobility that we can discern was not yet established. In the realm, the power of the king was too strong for that. The king held monopolies on land, custom, mines, and other sources of revenue. Coloman died in 1116 and was succeeded by his son Stephen. And as you've probably grown accustomed to by now, all hell broke loose again. Stephen II was a very warlike chap. In the words of a few historians, he was at war every year of his reign. He was defeated by Bohemians in 1116, the nobility made him retreat from Poland in 1123, the coastal cities were again dissatisfied with their overlord, seeing as Stephen won't be there to protect them, and they owed no special loyalty to him. When the Venetian Doge again came a-knockin', they more or less again folded to Venetian rule. Stephen did recover Dalmatia in 1144, only to lose it again in 1125. During that reconquest in 1125, Venice razed Beograd on the Sea, the royal city of Croatia, to the ground. The city was razed probably because it proved to be the most resistant to capture, and with its royal connections it owed a loyalty to the kings of Dalmatia and Croatia more than any other town. In 1127, Stephen's aunt's husband, the Byzantine Emperor John II, offered refuge to his uncle Almoš, which made Stephen attack Byzantium, and he was defeated in 1128. It became very clear to Stephen that things were not going well. Oh, I don't mean on the battlefield. As you saw, things were just hunky-dory there. I mean in Stephen's personal life. He had no son, no heir, and not having one raised prospects of the whole realm falling apart into chaos after his death. So Stephen rejoiced when he found his cousin Bela the Blind secluded in a monastery. Bela was hidden there by Almoš, as Almoš feared that his son might be killed by Coloman or Stephen to secure their own succession. But because Stephen did not have a son of his own, and Bela was his only legal successor, he invited Bela to court, gave him a title, some land, and married him to Helena, the daughter of the Serbian prince of Raška. Stephen died on the 1st of March, 1131, leaving his kingdom to Bela. Almoš had died in 1129, but I suppose you could say that this was a roundabout way in how he finally beat his brother Coloman for the succession. Meanwhile, while all this was going on, the Doge of Venice granted a nobleman named Dujam rule over the island of Krk. Dujam had 2 sons, one named Bartol, the other named Vid. Thus was born the dynasty of the lords of Krk.